Today we take a look at what the best XP solo at level 110 is. Obviously this is all gear dependent. Stay tuned. Welcome friends to a new episode of Lineage 2, hanging out today on the core server. I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm having a really good day. And today you see we might be in Dion, which has the most amazing music. And I figured it would be a perfect backdrop for what we're going to talk about today, which is the best XP solo at level 110. Now let me first say, by starting this video, the caveat is obviously the amount of gear that you have. It's all gear dependent, so this could change based on whatever gear you have. Now, for me, the gear that I have is a little limited. It's not amazing, it's not super awesome, but it's probably further along than most people have. So, if you have similar gear as me, which you guys can kind of take a look at what I have, I still have a blessed set. I've got a dragon weapon, level 1. I've got some level 5 dies. I've got a couple greater jewels. I have some artifacts. I have a few Agathions, level 7s. So I'm about mid-grade gear. Now, the way I did this test is I ran an hour in the following locations: Alligator Island, Field of Silence, Ivory Tower Crater, Neutral Zone, Storm Isle, and Tanner Canyon. Now, Neutral Zone's kind of goofy because I did it solo with what I have. I did not do it with a party, so I feel like Neutral Zone would probably be a little bit better if you had a party, but the big caveat there is depending on what party you're in, you could make more XP or less XP per hour based on who's in the party and how quickly the party kills. So I did this based on solo, so it's kind of not really fair to use Neutral Zone in my opinion when it's coming to solo, unless you can kill really efficiently. So the numbers might seem a little bit off to you, but and then there's also another caveat, which is on Tanner Canyon went a minute longer than I did for all of the rest. So Tanner Canyon's a little goofy, but as you'll see, the results are quite interesting. So I'll put a graphic up on the stream, and obviously take all this with a grain of salt. If you have more gear or less gear than me, you could be leveling better in another place if you're solo. The other stipulations that I did were I ran at no VIT, so this was actually down at 79%, not 529, so I had no vitality whatsoever, and I only used buffs, self buffs, and I didn't run anything but the same macro, which is my kill macro, which is my AoE, while running Ogre, not running Feral Bear Cry, because there's certain places I can't run Bear without dying, so I wanted everything to be exactly the same, and so everything was exactly perfect with my testing. So like I said, 1 hour in every location, and here's the results. Alligator Island for 1 hour gave 3.8 quadrillion XP. Field of Silence did 5.2 quadrillion. Ivory Tower did almost 5.4 quadrillion. Neutral Zone, which is obviously a weird one because it's a party zone and I don't kill super fast there, was only 1.1 quadrillion. Honestly, if you have a party of 5 and you kill fairly quickly, I'm guessing these numbers are going to be much different, so bear that in mind. Storm Isle, obviously, as you can see, yielded the best, which is 6.7 trillion or quadrillion per hour, and Tanner Canyon was 5.7 quadrillion per hour. Now, Tanner Canyon went a minute over, so, and I kind of calculated for a minute, it's about 200-ish billion XP per 2 minutes. Roughly, it's a little bit less, but it's kind of close, so that puts it at like 5.5. So the difference between Ivory Tower Crater and Tanner Canyon is about 100 billion XP per hour, with it kind of leaning towards Tanner. Now, The big caveat there is Tanner Canyon produces the same amount of mobs the whole time. The difference is that Ivory Tower can yield different results. This was the average. So I did Ivory Tower Crater a few times because Alligator Island, Field of Silence, and Tanner Canyon can all yield kind of goofy results because they'll yield the same results pretty much every time because they have a limited number of spawns. In Ivory Tower Crater, you have almost unlimited spawns, so if you don't get stuck behind a pillar or near any mobs, you could get a better hourly rate based on just continuing to kill more and more mobs as you go around in the crater. So it is quite interesting because I did have almost up to 6 quadrillion at one point, and I had as low as 4.9 quadrillion, meaning that I got stuck behind a pillar and I didn't run very far. It obviously never gets really stuck, but if you watch it for an hour, you can actually see that you get hung up behind the pillars or you're waiting for spawns. Now, if you go the whole hour without having to wait for spawns at all, you get closer to 6 trillion. I've never saw it go over 6 trillion, so I feel as though Ivory Tower Crater and Tanner Canyon kind of yield similar results. So you can kind of pick your poison with how that is. Obviously, Storm Isle is your best bet. Solo at 110 with about mid-grade gear, I would say. I also have plus 10 skill enchantments as well, so that's a factor to take into account as well. So Field of Silence didn't yield as well as I was expecting it would. I thought it would be much better. But the real big factor is Neutral Zone. You'll have to test on your own. I did not get a chance to get into a party to do this test to see how it would work. I will, and I'll probably put a comment in because I don't want to redo this. It was a very long video to do. This took about 10 hours to make because I did Ivory Tower Crater a couple of times because of the weirdness. And I wanted to do an average. So this took about 10-12 hours to make this video, so I'm not going to redo Ivory Tower or Neutral Zone just because I want to wait another day or two to get into a party to check. So check per hour or if you want to, you can yield different results by checking every 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I chose an hour. I think it's most accurate. If you really want to get super accurate, you're probably going to want to run every one of these tests for at least one day. But that takes 10 days to do, at least 6 days to do 6 locations. And that's a really long time to be trying to testing. And my internet's been spotty. It's been in and out. So I'm not going to trust my internet right now for one full day of testing for 24 hours because that could get really messy and it could really lengthen the time it takes to do this video. So obviously take all these numbers with a grain of salt. Again, Ivory Tower Crater and Tanner Canyon seem to be probably the best locations to be leveling, at least with my gear at 110. So I would urge you all to go out, do your own testing. The place that you're at might not be the right place for you per hour to be leveling. So take a look, see what you come up with. I'd love to hear what you guys have. If you're 110 or near 110, let me know down in the comments where you found your best location to level is, because I'm guessing that it might be different than what you expect. Not counting Neutral Zone. If you put Neutral Zone in there, it could be better, it could be less. So take a look. Let me know what you guys find. I'd love to hear what you guys are doing. Let me know in the comments what you guys found, and I'm curious. So, all right, friends, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you did, please stomp the like button. It does help me out a lot. It helps me grow. It shows me that you want to see more content like this. And as always, take care and be well.